No, no. I am hearing something, but I don't hear your voice.
Yeah, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Okay.
This
doesn't have to, right?
This is the microphone. Actually, I can hear you quite well without the microphone, so don't worry.
So yeah, I hope that my connection won't disappoint me. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, this is Latvia. We never get disappointed with Latvia, do we?
Yeah.
Right. I'll keep coughing. I'm sorry. That's not good. Well, at least you don't have headphones and won't make you deaf in a minute. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, if we must. Right. Okay, then 5, 6, 7, 8. Welcome to Along the Life of Dance. In this second episode, I am with Liene Michalsone, teacher in Latvia and member of the social club El Paso in Riga. During the next hour, we will talk about kizomba, social dancing, and how dancing can help you being a better self. We will also talk about how this year impacted their club and what idea they come up with to tackle it. Enjoy the show, and thank you very much for listening. Hi, Liene, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Excellent. Thank you very much for being with us today. So we're just going to try to make a little introduction of yourself. So if you can explain to the listeners, what's your name, who you're working for, which social group you are working with, and just a bit of your background.
Hi, everybody. I'm Liene. I'm from Riga, Latvia, working in El Paso Social Dance Studio. Yeah, this is a dance studio which is dancing and teaching more social dances like salsa, bachata, kizomba. And I'm here in El Paso already almost 7 years. I have lost the count already. And as a teacher, I'm teaching since 2016. And my background basically is Latvian traditional dances, which I have been danced for 13 years.
You still doing it?
Oh no.
You don't have the time, or you don't have the commitment anymore?
Well, it's both, because dancing Latvian traditional dances is like a full-time job.
Oh, really?
You have to commit it fully. So it's like trainings 2 times in a week, and very often you have to perform on weekends. So basically it's all your life. So that's why it's just a commitment for a long, like many years, unless you're just getting out of this addiction. So
the addiction. Okay.
So basically I did it for many years, and then I understood that, yeah, that's not exactly my style. So yeah, I decided just to change something in my life, and salsa was in my mind already for many years. So it was just a logical decision after leaving traditional dances that I would join to some salsa club. So it happened to be the school where I'm also teaching now. It had a different name then. So we changed the name 2 years ago to El Paso. So before it was Agua Latvian Salsa Pearls. So it was basically salsa school, just about Cuban dances, Cuban traditions, Cuban Afro, rumba, reggaeton, all these dances, and timba.
Right.
So yeah, and 2 years ago, we joined like 2 schools together, because before 4 years ago, we created our own school, Kizomba School, with fellow dancers, fellow teachers now, and yeah, so we kind of joined together all these dances together: salsa, kizomba, bachata, and so now we are many teachers just
all together
under the one roof.
El Paso is one club in Riga.
Yes.
And how many teachers are in this club? I will call it club. How do you call yourself? So do you call yourself a dance school, a social club, a dance
We
club?
call it ourselves like a dance studio.
Studio. So in your studio, you have how many teachers at the moment?
We are 12.
12.
Yes.
And all of them working for El Paso, or do you also have independent guys?
No, we are all working for El Paso. Yeah. So we are just like in divisions. So like a salsa, bachata teachers and kizomba teachers. So this year we were celebrating, well, not celebrating, but kind of celebrating 10 years of 10 years of existence. So yeah, we have of course people who are already there for 10 years, but it's just 2 people. So rest of them have joined a little bit later.
The decade.
Yes.
Okay. So you said you've been in El Paso for 5 years now? Is that right?
Almost 7 years.
Almost 7,
Yes.
sorry. 7 years ago is when you changed from folk dancing to salsa first.
Yes, exactly.
And you've always been with this club who has changed name since. But
yes.
So you started with salsa.
Yes.
What did you do next? Did you just stick to salsa, or you did other dances?
Yeah. So I started with Cuban salsa, and I still dance Cuban salsa, and this is my passion since the beginning. But yeah, when I started salsa, a half a year later, I found kizomba. So it was just beginning of urban kiz, and it was very new dance at that time. And yeah, we started to learn it. And after that, I realized that this is my dance. Somehow music took me, all this dance, all this philosophy about this dance. I realized that this is mine. So I danced, like, I tried all of this. Also, when you're dancing kizomba, it doesn't mean that it's just kizomba. There's traditional kizomba, urban kiz, terashinha, terasho, all these dances. So it's like the plate is full.
Whole new world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. That sounds great. So to you, what do you define as a social dance?
Good question. For me, social dance is something that you can dance in couple because it's a social dance, it's a socializing, and something that you can dance with, like improvisation. Like, for example, you have learned some kind of a steps in the classes, and you go to the social party where you just take the person who doesn't matter which kind of level he or she is, you can understand. So social dance for me, it's some kind of just a language that you can communicate.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, great. So you've done Cuban salsa, bachata, a bit of kizomba, probably a lot of kizomba because from what I
That's my
understand,
main
this is
dance.
Out of all these, so based on the definition that you give of a social dance, which one would you recommend fits the best for that definition from your experience?
Definitely salsa.
And why is that?
Because, how to say, it's more suitable for the people for socializing because it's not so close as bachata and kizomba, because there is more socializing without judging person. Yeah, I think that's
easiest one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's great.
Yes.
And so out of all of them, to you, which one is the worst?
There are other different social dances. For example, one of this is also Brazilian zouk. So if I have to tell which is the worst dance for me, I think this is the dance.
The zouk.
Yeah, the Brazilian zouk. I don't have a connection with this dance. I don't know why. Maybe I'm scared of these head rolls, which you can... It's very frightening to me.
If it's just the head roll, that's okay. Did you try another zouk? You just had this one, and that was enough for you? Like, no, thank you.
From the visual that I see, I think that it's probably the dance with what I couldn't connect so much as with others.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's just a personal thing. I know that many people love Brazilian zouk, and it's totally okay, and it's completely understandable because it's just during all these years dancing, I understood that it's just the matters of the dance and the music that speaks to you, and it's you never know what's gonna be, so you have to try many things to understand what's yours. But if you're asking me
Hmm.
about if I have tried another zouk, of course there's another zouk. There's also Caribbean zouk, which is connected to kizomba, and the roots of kizomba. So I love it. I love this zouk, but yeah, it's completely different. Brazilian zouk and the Caribbean zouk are two completely different dances, and Caribbean zouk, I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Great. I would like to go back for a minute, back to El Paso and to the studio itself. So you said you are 11, 12?
12, yeah.
12 people, sorry. And are you all set up as individual dance teachers, or do you all work under the name? You said so some people have salsa, bachata, kizomba, but do you also split the roles in terms of, I'm going to be silly, but somebody cleans the hall, somebody goes for the booking, somebody goes for dating calendars? And I'll extend the question even to how do you organize yourself? Because when you're usually a dance teacher, you have your own studio or you rent the studio, there's no problem, and you can do everything yourself. This is one maybe great thing about being a dance teacher. But when you start involving more the dancers and in a way artists, chaos can happen very quickly. So how do you organize in El Paso?
Yeah, we all are chefs to ourselves,
Okay.
and teaching dances to all of us is like a second job. None of us, for now, is in El Paso like a full time, but each of us has some kind of another skill that can be useful in El Paso. For example, we have our own lawyer, we have our
Okay.
accountant. And yeah, so basically we each have some kind of a role, but we're all cleaners, we are all clean.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's
So
that's the best thing.
yeah. So basically we all do everything when it comes to organizing parties, for example, or organizing events. It's just we all do everything. But yeah, in a like a everyday routine, there are some people who have dedicated more time to run this.
Hmm.
So I would say that I'm kind of a PR person.
Okay.
So I'm more responsible about social medias and trying to understand how to advertise things or how to make more interesting Facebook timeline and all these things. But of course, it's
Sounds
all
sense.
talked out together in the meetings. So it's just like a teamwork. Yeah.
How often do you meet all together?
Usually we try to meet once a month, something like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
But well, I suppose now it's going to be online.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or you can all sit in a corner in the room
Yeah.
and start shouting like kids. Okay, now, Liane, I would like to talk about what happened this year for El Paso. So, as we record today, it's the 13th of December 2020. And so you are following the Latvian restriction rules. So I'm going to start like this. Did you have only one lockdown in Latvia? Did you have more than one? And when was the first one? And how did you see the progression? Did you get more and more restrictive? Were they more open-minded about it?
The first lockdown started in 12th of March. It lasted for 3 months. It ended in May. So at some point, people felt that maybe it's going to be like before. So life started again, places, bars, restaurants, events started to happen. During the summer, it was quite free. So it was like feeling that everything going to be all right again. We had to close our classes for 3 months. We started again individual classes on June. So no group classes, so no couple dances, just individual classes for a month. And yeah, in the middle of July, we tried to get back on en route with the group classes. So we started new beginner classes, and it was quite promising. And then the second wave started on September, and in October we tried to start a new beginner classes, but then already we had a feeling that okay, it's not going to be good. So of course winter came, people got more sick, the numbers raised, and of course there was this another lockdown, so which of course affected us also. So we had to close the dances again on
Okay.
November. So yeah.
So from March until now, when did you have to actually close? For how long?
So counting together, it's almost 5 months, I think.
5 months.
Yeah, almost 5.
Right. And then
Yeah.
in between these, government allow you to have classes, but probably more on a private lesson based or just a very individual classes.
Yeah, during the summer, the restrictions weren't so strict. So we just opened the classes and hoping for more and more people. But during the first lockdown, it wasn't allowed to do any kind of activities regarding the dances. But in this other lockdown, it's allowed to take private classes. So this is what we are trying to do. We're very cautious, of course. We are doing all the what the government says to do, to wear the masks and disinfect everything. So this is what we are doing, of course. But yeah, we are taking some private classes. But of course, people are not so
keen.
I cannot say that they're running to the classes, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I wanted to ask you. So, in terms of maybe the mentality,
Yeah.
let's take two angles. On the mentality of the Latvian people, or I said Latvian citizen,
Yeah.
did you feel like the people of Latvia were they were okay and they were following rules, or you feel like it's not very much of their concern? And then on the second level, because you were a dance studio, but based on social interaction and social clubbing, how much private lesson did you have prior to lockdown, and how much do you have now in terms of percentage?
So generally speaking, people are, yeah, they're taking restrictions quite seriously. Of course, you have to do what you have to do. But yeah, so Latvians, they don't have so much of a like a militant nature. They're not like fighting against rules or something. But of course, you can feel that recently people have started to feel tired of these restrictions. But at the end of the day, it's just about the health. You have to stay healthy. So we have to do whatever it takes to just stay healthy. Also in dances. And the other question that you asked me, I would say that now we have more private classes than before.
Okay. And do the students came because they had to dance, or they felt like you said, they needed, I wanted to go out, I wanted to put music on, express myself, or they felt like, okay, private lessons now, it's maybe more me time, I can focus more on something. Did they come with a different mindset, or they were just like, please, please, please give me something because I just need something? Or you managed to take a different angle yourself and thinking, oh, hang on a second, maybe we can adapt with this situation now, we have no choice, but can we bring it this angle or not?
Yeah, there are some people who really likes to dance. But can you rephrase maybe the question?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's no problem, don't worry.
Yeah.
So yes, because of the situation and because of the fact that people wanted to come back for classes, some of them must have come back because they were just desperate. They really wanted to come back. And they would have taken anything. And in that case, you just offered for this type of people, and you felt like, okay, I'm just opening the door for whoever is really in need. You said earlier with the national dancing, it's like an addiction. I need my shot.
Yeah.
Or did you come across as a committee or as a group thinking, okay, this is more private lesson based, so a new format, hence a new mentality? Do we need to take a different approach? Do you want to dance? We dance. Or you saying, okay, now it's private lesson, we can do something different. What do you think?
Okay. So social dances is a very tricky field.
Okay.
Yeah, because people are coming to dance, social dances, because they want to socialize. That's the almost the main thing. Of course, the dancing part is like a good adding to the social thing, socializing
Mm-hmm.
thing, that you can learn
Yeah,
some
yeah,
kind
okay.
of new stuff while you're talking with somebody. And this is not a secret, this is a thing. And we feel that, of course, also within our students, that they really like to interact with other people. Very few who like to improve themselves, but it doesn't mean that others are not trying to improve. Of course, I'm not saying that. We have wonderful students.
Yes, yes, everybody's wonderful. Don't worry. Safe, safe. We keep it safe.
But we really are aware of this thing, that the socializing part is very huge. So also this is a couple dance, and it's very hard to learn, like to teach something, for example, online, what everybody is doing. So we realize that it's just not possible. And very few of them are like living together or in couples so they can train together or something.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there are a lot of things that you can train by yourself at home alone, but when this socializing part is cut, I think people don't see the point of it so much.
Right.
And I completely understand that, of course, because this is not a competition. This is just a rest for the people. Like they're just coming to enjoy, they're coming after work to rest, to just clear the mind, forget about the things. They don't want to think so much in these dances. So this is the main problem also why it's not working.
Okay.
And also it affects the private classes. We have a few people who are coming, and the reasons are mainly just because they want to dance. Some of them want to improve. Some of them just want to interact with some people. And yeah, it depends on the person with what kind of aim they're coming to the private classes.
Okay. Because I remember going into the studio and seeing on the shelves, you have about 1.5 tons of cups and medals and awards there, mostly for salsa. Is it something? Of course, I would imagine. I mean, with this situation, competitions are not necessarily open, but maybe is it something that students are attracted at all, or you thought of going there and there was no response, or is the competition route, like you said, coming into a social club for dancing, the clue is in the title, really. It's social first.
Yeah.
It's a social club, and then you eventually dance. But you can't teach just how to talk to people. Hence, going into the competition side of it as an alternative to the students, is it something that you've tried, you thought of, you maybe disapprove because it goes against the natural flow of it? Or actually, no, you thought you wanted to go for it, but the response wasn't there because they were social dancers?
Yeah, we have competed in many competitions. It's all these medals are during 10 years. So
Mm-hmm.
but mostly these medals are getting almost the same people.
Okay.
So we have like a bunch of people who are very interested in competing, which is amazing. And we are very happy every time that somebody is interested in taking some kind of competitions. There are not, I have to say that there are not so many competitions where to participate. There are some in Europe, mostly for salsa. And then there are like competitions which are like only for kizomba, only for bachata, only for salsa. But there is not so many competitions like for all the. There are some festivals where you can participate with the shows. Shows are also very nice motivation for improving.
Mm-hmm.
Also, besides the competition, but yeah, the competitions where we are also always going is in Lithuania, and there are going Lithuanians, Russians, Polish, Latvians, and yeah, and this is basically 50% of the medals are from this event.
It's fine. They're still owning the place.
Yeah. But these are like amateur competitions, which is great, basically, because mostly these kind of competitions in Europe are like a very high level or something, and people of course are scared, of course. So this amateur competition is very nice alternative for the like a normal people, you know, like for the people who are not so long in the dances or just want to improve themselves a little bit. This is like a first step. Yeah, and this was also my first step.
Okay.
So, you know, I also participated in the competitions for several years. It was my first step, and I think it's a huge step.
Cool.
Yeah.
So now, as El Paso as a dance studio, you said you have your own studio, and because people taking private lessons, and you have 12 teachers before this situation, you have several teachers at once. I would imagine at least 2 teaching together.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to get into too much into the finances. You're not the accountant, as we understood, so don't worry about it. But I guess they would probably share the cost or share the profit, and everybody sort of play with each other as a small groups. But now everybody is more or less a free for all because you're not allowed to have more than 3 people in one room. How does that work on the studio point of view? So how did you fix it? How did you try to work around this system?
Yeah, we choose who's going to teach. If there is not enough classes for all of them, we are just, okay, you're going to take this, we're going to take this. But basically, we can manage to do all the classes because we have our own hall, but we are also renting a hall in a second floor. The whole building is like a dance school. We are just renting one hall of it. So if we have more classes, we are renting also the second floor or the third floor. So we can do classes parallelly. So we don't have to juggle so much. So we are like managing.
Well, that's convenient. Mm-hmm. So you don't have the problem of space, which is always it's always the main issue.
Yeah, and we also are using weekends sometimes. So
during this year, did you teach less time than last year yourself?
Oh, yes, definitely.
How much difference would you say?
Yeah, I cannot even tell. It's just I have a feeling that I don't even remember when I taught the last time. Yeah.
It was a life ago.
Yes. Yeah, but basically it's like I would say 50%. I don't know. I still have few private classes, but it's just uncomparable. Yeah, I had many classes before. Yeah, and I loved it.
Okay. Okay. So just to finish with the subject, I'm going to try to ask this to every episode and see what people can come up with or what they had as an idea. Maybe it was positive, maybe it wasn't. You will tell us in a minute. So during this year, because everything has changed, and as we just discussed already, have to juggle with teachers, you have to juggle with job, because I suppose not only this job was at risk, the first one also, like everybody else. But did you have time to sort of step back and think a bit and rediscover something positive that you've been with El Paso for 7 years? Mm-hmm. What did you maybe rediscover during this period that you thought, I forgot about that. It's quite nice, and I wish I could do it a bit more often. Is there anything like this?
Yeah, of course. I think each of us have this kind of a thing. And unfortunately, even our students, I think, because it's like one kind of a thing is cut, so you can focus on some kind of other things, which is nice, because since you cannot go out and do some kind of a social things, of course you realize how much you need it and how much you miss it, but at the other time you maybe take the book that you couldn't read for the 3 years, finally, and just you did it. So this is kind of a thing that, of course, I think it happens for each of us. And same for me. In the first lockdown, I actually realized how much dances meant to me. I didn't notice that before because it was there all the time. I was teaching, everything was
Right.
smooth, everything was going on. But when it was taken away, it was unbelievable. Yeah, I didn't imagine that dances and teaching itself, it was so much a part of me that I even had some kind of a personal identity crisis. I was thinking like, who am I without dances? Oh my god. And the second lockdown, I somehow got used to this, so I have a feeling that maybe I could live without this. And I think many of us has have this kind of thoughts maybe.
Right.
But yeah,
Yeah.
you just get used to the things.
And adapt anyway.
So the positive, maybe it could be.
Well, you did. You said it. I think it's just realizing how much it meant to you.
Yeah, okay, if it's a positive thing, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is positive. At the end, it is positive. It's the negative things that make you feel it's a positive. So, before we go into more of a trendy approach and what you've seen, etc., imagine I'm a total beginner. I've never heard of the dances. Um, sorry, you froze. I'm just going to check. You back with me? If you are still here, thank you. And yes, we had an issue with the connection, but luckily we are not live and we go back online eventually. I use this opportunity to remind you that you can listen to our podcast on your favorite streaming platform. Feel free to also follow our social network, Anthony B Dancing, for more news or if you want to get in touch with us. I want to thank you once again for listening, and I hope you find our first season inspiring and somewhat useful. Enjoy the end of the show. Okay. Right. Ready?
Yes.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, whatever. At least it's all wasted anyway. So.
No.
Okay. Right. Now, Leonie, I would like to talk with you about the dances. From what you said and what we discussed earlier, you're doing social clubs, which is Cuban salsa, bachata, kizomba, and all different styles. For somebody who's never heard of it before, which I'm sure some of listeners might have just discovered some of them, would you be able to explain in a few words what is kizomba first, please?
Yeah, so kizomba is a social dance, couple dance, which comes from Angola. So yeah, it is originated from this part of the world, but the style that we are teaching more is urban kiz. So the kizomba is like a root to this dance, to urban kiz. So urban kiz is coming from France.
Okay.
And yeah, so basically urban kiz keeps the basics from kizomba.
Right.
But after that it becomes a little bit different. So kind of you can say that this is the same but not the same dance. The same thing like Cuban salsa in LA.
Right.
So it's kind of a salsa, but it's completely different,
Okay.
in the music and also in the steps and the feeling, the like kind of atmosphere. It's completely the same. Different, I mean.
Different. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how old is kizomba and how old is urban kiz then, roughly?
So kizomba, it appeared in Angola around 1980. So it was brought to Portugal 20 years later or something.
Okay.
But the urban kiz is very new dance. It was created between 2012 2014,
Right.
and it's still evolving. If you can say that kizomba is evolving in the borders, then urban kiz is kind of a stepping over the borders and taking more from the other dances like
Right.
hip hop, whatever you can imagine. So if kizomba is very close and you dance more in a couple using leg work and more leading and following, if we talk about urban kiz, it becomes more like you dance more away from each other lately. which allows you to put some kind of a styling more, some kind of separate movements.
Okay.
I cannot say that this is what I like about when it's where it's going, because I'm still like old school and I like to dance in a couple. so
Fair enough.
so yeah, so I'm a little bit stuck into the urban kids how it was 2 years ago, but it's taking many different routes, and the more dancers are dancing urban kids, the more they're adding some kind of their style. This is what afterwards defines this dance.
Right.
So more and more people are taking this separate style, so the more people are dancing in some different styles and ways, so afterwards people start to teach these things, because the more and more people want to dance like this,
Right, of
so
course.
this is the thing where it's all going. Yeah.
It's always funny. I always love talking with you about these sort of things because you're telling me you're more traditionalist of a dance that is 8 years old. I come from the ballroom world where waltz has been there since the 18th century, and we feel like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's gonna be risky to put a heel lead on one foot in the middle of a step because it's been done like this for 250 years. It's always funny. Um, okay, right. So you were saying that the dance is about 8 years old,
Yeah.
let's say 10 years old. How many people do you think dances it, let's say in Europe first? Do you reckon, are we talking thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people already?
Urban kids is very popular now. It's very popular. I would say that maybe it's even more popular than salsa
Okay.
for this moment. But I haven't traveled to a lot of salsa festivals recently, so I cannot tell. The dance popularity, it just changes like waves. Some dance appears, then everybody want to learn this, then I don't know, something happens, and for example, salsa becomes very popular, although it's very like something happens. So for example, if we talk about Latvia, then of course 10 years ago salsa was very, very popular here. So people wanted to be good at it, actually, wanted to dance like the best salsa teachers, and then appeared bachata. But I wasn't dancing at that time, so like I was just starting salsa, so I don't know how popular it was at that time.
Right.
For me, I was all focused on salsa, and then came kizomba, so I somehow skipped this bachata part, so I cannot answer
Right.
about this. But yeah, when I started the kizomba, and 2 years afterwards, when I decided when we decided to make our own school, it was very popular at that time. We somehow jumped in the very moment when yeah, everybody wanted to learn it. So, of course, when we started to travel to the festivals, I felt like it's like a huge. It has taken over all the people, all this urban kids and kizomba, uh, like a illness, But then it somehow started to drop. This popularity wasn't so popular anymore.
How long ago was this?
Like 2 years ago, actually.
2 years ago. Okay.
Yeah, 2 years ago around, and then started bachata to be very popular. I'm talking about Latvia now,
Yeah,
more.
of course.
Yeah. So around approximately 2 years ago, bachata, basically it came
Come back.
back, to the spotlight.
The front
Spotlight,
line.
yeah. So I could say that the bachata is most popular dance now.
Okay, and do you think, I know you missed your first introduction to
Yeah.
bachata because you were in salsa and then you went to ski zumba, but you must have heard or at least see some of it. From what you knew at the time and from what you know now, do you feel a difference in the bachata?
Oh, I don't know. I cannot tell how old is sensual bachata, but I believe that it's the same case like in kizomba.
Okay.
First appeared this traditional bachata, bachata
Right.
dominicana, and then appeared this sensual bachata. And of course, people want to be sensual. This is a thing that sells.
So let's be sweaty and let's be sticky together. It's always a good selling point.
Yeah. It's exactly the same thing about kizomba, and I would say that urban kiz is it has more sensual touch. I cannot say that this is a good reason why to dance any dance at all, but
Whatever pleases you anyway,
well,
essentially. So you say you had your Cuban salsa, a bit different with LA salsa, then bachata, then kizomba. Bachata comes back again.
Mhm.
Do you think it's going to come back to tradition, or this new wave will take over? And the same question, maybe not forget the bachata, but maybe for the kizomba.
People like I have to say that dancing social dances, I have noticed this kind of trend that if you're dancing long enough, eventually you come back to the roots.
Okay.
If they, for example, start to dance urban kids or bachata and sensual, I think eventually they will want to know what's root of all this.
Oh yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
If you remember, we tried to dance together
Yeah.
recently and see how it went, and I think we both got surprised about the proximity in the dance between a tango argentino and a kizomba. Of course, you have variation because the style vary and the music is totally different, I would say.
Yeah.
But there was very much similarities, and I think it's a very good point that what was it? I don't know. I can't remember who was saying this, but you don't know where you will go if you don't know where you come from.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think these dances are a similar idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And I wanted to say that it's very, very important also for teachers to actually show this difference so people are not like blinded by one kind of a style of a dance and they think that this is all what it is, so there is like that there is nothing besides the behind all this. So I don't know what I wanted to say with this, but I think this is
it was important to say it anyway.
Yeah. So the students have a approximate insight of what they're doing, what they're dancing, and all the that they have like a path to come back. That not that they're like dancing for many years and they're not aware that there is some other dances, some roots,
right,
some things behind.
Like a hidden treasure or something.
Yeah, I think the information and the wider perspective on the things is very important.
Okay, so at El Paso, of course, everything is a bit different. We will not take this as a model, the 2020, but if you have a new student coming in, how is he aware of the dance he's coming in? In other words, if he comes in for kizomba, how will he know about Cuban salsa or bachata?
Well, we have quite huge banner on the wall. That's the one thing.
Okay, that's one start.
People usually are aware of the things because I don't know. We're telling to people that there are different styles. They see it everywhere written. We are not keeping in secret some kind of information. We want people to be involved in all the dances.
And generally speaking, if the student comes for kizomba, is he going to stay in kizomba most of his year? Or do you feel like between teachers, you have students that want to join in and out and try different things?
Yeah, well, as a teacher, I could say that it would be good to stick for one dance, at least for a half a year, and in one school. We're always saying to our students that you can try another schools and other styles and other teachers. It's if it's for the best for the student, it's okay. But I believe that it's very good to stick for one school and one style at least for half a year, so you get the general, like the main basic about the dance, the basic leading and following, because of course all the teachers have the different styles how to teach the leading and following stuff, but people minds cannot observe so many information. So if you want to jump to one dance to another dance, it's just going to be a chaos in your head at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You have to just train your brains to adapt new things, and if the person hasn't danced before, it's even more necessary, it's more important.
Good advice. So stick to your teacher, or stick to the teacher you feel the most
Yeah,
trustworthy or the most fitting with, and then stick with him or her for at least a year before taking a decision.
yeah, or half a year. Yeah, half a year.
Okay, cool. Last question about yourself. You've done pretty much, I'd say, most of your life. I know you started, you did 13 years of something. We won't do the math, don't worry, and we won't ask your age. We never ask a lady the age. But I know you, and the pictures I might put online, just one or two pictures. You are not 65. You've been dancing all your life. What do you think dancing brought to you as an everyday life hack?
Yeah, this is a good question because I can say that my life changed when I started to dance social dances. These changes didn't happen when I danced traditional dances. It was a little bit
Right.
different vibe there, which was nice, but it was too competitive. And in this social dance field, I had a feeling that I have a more control over the things, like because I don't know, you are like kind of alone, so it's your choice what you're gonna be. It's like a social dances
Mm-hmm.
are like a small society, and when you enter into it, you can see where you belong to, like where are you in this small society world. So you can clearly see yourself as a personality, and this is like a good training, for the real life also, talking with people. Like, for
The
example, for
bigger
me
world.
it was very, very extremely difficult talking with people. And look at me now. I'm talking with you and knowing that this is going to be heard by many people.
Millions
Millions,
of
yes.
people.
So it has changed my personality completely. I have become more open, more friendly, more, I don't know, more extrovert. So I think that this is a good opportunity how to gain your confidence. Yeah, definitely, especially for the introverts. And yeah, we have many people who are coming to social dances to open up, and they're telling that that's their goal, and I think they have come to the right place. Yeah.
Very good. Best answer you could ever give, I think. Get out of your shell, and makes you realize who you really are. Yeah, it's again, I think, in that manner, any art form or any display art form. I think if you're a performer, an entertainer, if you even go on stage in a way, because they, like you said, being on coming into a social club or social night, you don't know, you doubt yourself, and the second you start dancing, whether that we like it or not, people are looking. They don't necessarily judge, but they are
Yeah.
watching for sure. And you put up a show, and so that builds up confidence in that respect. And I've been dancing too long, I think, but 21 years, I think now. And I'm the same. I'm still petrified in a way to go on the dance floor when I'm not sure where to go. And this is great for me. I wanted to thank you again. Maybe I didn't do it enough, but I want to thank you again, Lena, for coming into this show and try this with me. Because, yeah, I come from a very structured dance world. And coming from the social aspect, to me, has always been a very, very strong challenge.
Yeah.
I really, really struggle with that. And hearing what you're saying, it makes me feel really much like we in phase and this world are not so different. You just probably may take it a bit more open with it, and you're less frightened than I am for this, surely.
But
And
yeah.
and it's great. It's great to see that, yeah, we all in the same boat, and we all think the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you have clearly give me this insight for me too. Yeah, you're like a window to ballroom dances for me because yeah, I haven't done it. So I'm very glad to them to them met you and you. Yeah, we can share this kind of stories and everything. But yeah,
Excellent. Right, then we have one last exercise for you, Liana, if it's okay. And
okay,
then we can call it a night, because it's definitely coming to a night. I'm going to ask you 10 questions,
okay,
reasonably easy answers. There should be easy answers. There is no wrong answers for sure. You have 1.5 seconds to answer it if you can, or as quick as possible. It's
okay,
just to find a bit of your personality. Some of them are dance related, some of them aren't.
okay,
At the end of the day, you've passed, so don't worry, okay? There is no pressure on that test.
okay.
Right, ready? Here we go. Number 1, mountain or beach?
Mountain.
From Latvia, that's a surprise. Cats or dogs?
Dogs. That's a funny because I have a cat.
Okay, it's going well. Ballroom or Latin?
Latin.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Okay, I'm not sponsored, don't worry. Dancing shoes, with or without heels?
Without.
Leader or follower?
Follower.
If you have to keep only one of those, which one would it be? Potato or deal?
Potato.
Of course. Solo dancing or couple dancing?
Couple dancing.
Okay. Ross or Rachel?
Ross.
Ross. And to finish it, the best day, your best day ever?
Like in my life?
Yeah. Or even in your week if you want.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
3,
I
2.
I was
1.
born?
There you go. That's a good start. And then life took over. Excellent. Well, Liane, thank you very much for your patience there. If anybody wants to get in touch with you in Riga or outside Riga, what's the best way?
Yeah, so the best way is find us in Facebook. So we are like El Paso Social Dance Studio, write us there, or to our email info@elpaso.lv. We're gonna have our website soon, very, very, very soon. But This is the best way for now, Facebook.
When we release the episode, we'll put the contact and the details in the description as well, so people will find you.
Okay.
Easily. Okay. Well, Liane, thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you.
And I hope, listeners, you enjoyed it as much as we tried to make this happen.
Yeah.
You take care. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.